Are you ready to uncover the organizations that can shatter artist careers? Today we're diving into the realm of hip-hop record labels, exposing the worst choices for aspiring hip-hop artists. In an industry as competitive as hip-hop, the label you sign with can make or break your future. Whether they're artist-driven havens or soulless corporate machines, these labels wield the power to shape an artist's destiny, propelling them to greatness or dragging them into infamy. So if you're prepared to witness the labels tarnishing the very essence of hip-hop, let's not waste a moment longer. Let's dive right in. Before we begin, it's important to note that the intention of this video is to provide an honest review and critique of various record labels based on publicly available information. It's not our intention to defame any record label or artist. Kicking off the worst labels a rapper can be signed to right now is Dawg Entertainment, TDE. As Kendrick Lamar left the label in 2022, and many of its biggest artists went into hiding, many people began to say that TDE fell off, but even without Kendrick, they have still done a ton of good things for the music world as a whole. It seems like Dawg Entertainment has no longer been giving artists the tools they need to make the albums they want. But at the same time as all this, when rappers on TDE do drop, they tend to release great projects. We just saw this firsthand with Schoolboy Q and his first album since 2019, Blue Lips, which between its mature rapping and dynamic musical atmosphere is truly one of the best made and most compelling rap albums that hip-hop has seen in quite some time. So with Dawg Entertainment today, while their legacy artists keep giving us great music, I don't think it's a place that any new rapper should sign to, as really everything great that they did as a record label followed Kendrick Lamar and his new label PG Lang. At number 7 is Travis Scott's Cactus Records. The label forms a concise yet talented group consisting of Travis Scott himself, Sheck Wes, Don Toliver, and Sofago. While Don Toliver has achieved considerable success with 3 albums since 2020, the careers of 2 other artists on the label have seen varied results. Sheck Wes has not released new music since his 2018 debut album Mud Boy, and Sofago's career seems to be over before it's even started. Amidst Travis teasing a second compilation record for the label in Jack Boys 2 and the pressure of releasing his long-anticipated album Utopia, the future of the label still doesn't look so bright. It seems we'll have to wait to see how Travis and his crew can work in full force to set the record on greater path sooner than ever. So, while this label is not a complete failure, signing to it does not guarantee success. Artists should proceed with caution, as the trajectory of success is not as straightforward as it might seem with Cactus Records. At number 6 comes Yeezy Records. When it comes to drama and hip-hop, right alongside Thug and Gunna, no other rapper has been in more controversy recently than Kanye West. As his former label, Good Music, dissolved and longtime members like Pusha T and Big Sean left, along with its parent company Def Jam shutting it down as a whole, Kanye became an independent artist under his own Yeezy Records. Doing any sort of business with Kanye is definitely a risk, but considering that when he was locked in with signees like Pusha T, or even Common and John Legend all the way back in the 2000s, he was able to show just how great of a producer he was. I think a lot of artists will be intrigued by the prospect of teaming up with Ye, but time will only tell if this label is truly going to be worth something bigger than just Kanye West. When it comes to giving his artists the proper development that they need to build strong careers of their own, it's a much different story. At number 5, we have YSL. YSL was a label that set many of the biggest trends in hip-hop. During 2022, when Young Thug was still at the top of the world and Gunna was having a career year, they, along with many other label mates, were locked up in a case that has been ongoing to this day. As it's continued, and members like Lil Duke and Gunna have been released, there has only been more inner tension created within the label. Gunna, now being a free man, has led to non-stop drama centered around whether Gunna is a snitch, and speculation on what his current relationship is with Young Thug. Between all the subliminal disses that seem to be on Young Thug's Business is Business album, and the silent treatment that Gunna has received from his former right-hand man Lil Baby, along with many other of his most prominent collaborators, he has been seemingly blackballed from the spaces he was once embraced at. So with YSL, As long as Thug and Gunna remain at odds and the group's case continues, this label just has no place for new artists in the rap game. With the future of it depending on what happens to young Thug himself, it is uncertain whether this label will even be here in the months to come. Moving on to number 4 is Quality Control Record, popularly known as QC. When we examine other labels, whose reputations have been in decline for quite some time, one of the most significant declines can be seen with Quality Control. After emerging as the label that truly sets the trends, shaping the landscape of the late 2010s, they are now a mere shadow of themselves, housing some of the most lazy and complacent artists today. Apart from Lil Yachty, who has been carrying this label on his back with outstanding releases like his 2023 album Let's Start Here, and numerous other amazing singles, the rest of the QC crew has lost the magic that made them so renowned just a few years ago. Whether it's the City Girls, who were QC's response to all the competition in the female rap scene, or Lil Baby, who has experienced one of the most significant declines in hip-hop after being seen as someone who could become the next all-time great following his 2020 album My Turn. It seems that once these acts gained buzz around their names and began to garner so much hype and attention, they stopped pushing themselves and stopped caring about the music they were putting out. Making everything even sadder for Quality Control has been the downfall of the Migos. With Offset leaving the group and even suing the label after leaving it, to the unfortunate passing of Taekwon, the trio that defined what Quality Control stood for has now been shattered, and all that's left is Quavo. While he still continues to release music, it's just not the same without his family-turned-rap group behind him. And consequently, QC is no longer a premier destination for rappers to sign to. At number 3 is Eminem's Shady Records. In today's major label scene, one of the most prevalent problems is the exploitative nature of these companies. However, what's even worse is when labels sign artists and then simply let their careers wither away. Unfortunately, Shady Records has become an absolute disgrace to what it once represented decades ago. Despite signing some of the most talented spitters time and time again, every artist they sign seems to leave the label after a lukewarm tenure. Or they get trapped into their contracts entirely as they fall into obscurity. Whether it was Yellow Wolf, whose career really began here but burned out partially because of Shady, or even new rappers like Grip or West Side Boogie, whose careers have stagnated despite releasing more compelling albums over time. The managing and marketing at Shady Records has turned it into more of a graveyard for artists rather than a place where they can actually develop and grow. Second to the worst record label a rapper can sign to is Cash Money Records, once known for treating Lil Wayne so poorly that he almost retired from music. Today, this label is an absolute joke, as they harbor some of the worst rappers in all of hip-hop. To put this into perspective, the most popular artist they have signed to them today is Blueface. It is that bad. Now, when you look at this steaming pile of garbage that is Cash Money Records today, it's not surprising how the label that once housed Lil Wayne and was the parent company to his Young Money label has fallen so far from grace considering the reputation they built in the 2010s. With Blueface leading their roster of artists, this ship will only continue to sink with time. It's a stark contrast to the powerhouse it once was, and the sad demise of Cash Money Records stands as a testament to how mismanagement and a lack of vision can tarnish even the most successful of labels. Signing to Cash Money Records today is questionably one of the worst top 3 choices for any hip-hop artist. And finally, the worst record label any rapper could sign to is the absolute joke of Drake's OVO Sound. Whether it was mismanaging the careers of so many melodic rappers and singers, only really using them for ghostwriting and reference tracks, or it was the signing of abysmal rappers like Smiley, OVO Sound really feels like the joke of a label that has only been used to benefit Drake's own personal brand at the expense of everybody else. Signing to this label really seems like a sentence to destroy your career, as all the talent is brushed to the side or never really even acknowledged by Drake publicly. It's honestly sad, because while other rappers like Kendrick and Cole have used their own careers to help amplify and elevate the talent that they have been working directly with, it seems like Drake never wants anything to do with his artists, as they are both just barely seen featuring on any of his massive albums. And considering that Drake's music is only made in the first place to make money and to not actually do anything meaningful, it makes no sense why he wouldn't help the artist who he literally has a personal investment in. So whatever you do, if you're an artist, stay away from OVO Sound. Thank you for watching. We hope you found our collation of the worst record labels insightful. Do you agree with our list? Or do you have a different opinion? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Your engagement is what keeps this channel going. Until next time, stay tuned for more.